So, we are without the kinderin today because Annike's sick. She was throwing up this morning, and yesterday Lawrence had the same thing, and he was throwing up in the evening about 5 or 6 times. So it ended after that for him. I'm hoping that she rests a bit now, and she throws up a couple more times, and that'll be it, because we're going on a ferry tomorrow. I wouldn't want to confuse that with seasickness, although I still have gravel. We are on our way to Ikea, so we actually left all the kids with Opa, hoping that Willem could help look after Anneke, and that the boys could entertain themselves while we run out to Ikea to get some light bulbs for Opa's house. He's got a lot of burned out bulbs and whatnots, and it's just, I find it very dim in there, and we're worried as he gets older that I don't want him tripping and falling over anything because it's not bright enough. So we're gonna get some light bulbs and a potty seat for Anneke because she's absolutely terrified of the toilets in the Netherlands. Now the toilet itself looks the exact same. However, the S trap in the toilet, I don't know exactly how it works, but you know how North American toilets are not that deep because you have the S trap in it. You can see it on the outside of the porcelain bowl. I don't see that at Pa's house. It looks like it just goes straight down. So the toilet is actually much deeper looking. And because we don't have her potty seat, she's terrified of falling in. And because of that, as of yesterday, she hadn't gone to the bathroom since we left the airport when we landed at Schiphol until last night when she was refusing to go in the potty and ended up wetting herself. And she's just crying and terrified of sitting on the toilet. She's afraid of falling in. So anyway, we can't have that. We're going to bring a potty seat from Ikea, and we'll travel with it the rest of our adventures, and maybe donate it to somebody before we leave. I don't know if we need to bring it home with us, but who knows? Maybe Pa has friends with grandchildren who could use a potty seat. So we're going to pick that up because we know they have them there, plus the light bulbs, and it's only 15-20 minutes away depending on the traffic in Breda. One of the other things I want to talk about was, if you had seen our first video, you saw that Anneke was wearing a special seatbelt. It's actually a seatbelt made for an airplane. I bought it 10 years ago when Willem was very little because we did a lot of flying together, and he was under 2, so I didn't have to buy him a seat. But because he was quite big and quite heavy, it was challenging holding him. And airlines have all these silly policies where when you're traveling with an infant, you need to hold them up on your shoulder in the burp position, which for him, being so heavy, and I had to have him so high up on my shoulder, it was nearly impossible to hold him. And I had a carrier, and the first time, I think he was only a month old when we flown home, or maybe, yeah, it was for Father's Day, and he was born in May, so he was only a month old. That wasn't bad. I had him in my ring sling the whole flight, except for takeoff and landing when I had to keep him held up. But then when I went back when he was like 6 months old, 9 months old, and 10 months old, I don't know how many. Willem had flown 16 times by the time he was 10 months old. This is how much traveling we had done that year I was off. Many trips to Nova Scotia, Toronto, and the Netherlands. So, yeah, he was like frequent flyer. And because we had gone so many times, and because he was getting so heavy, and because the airlines have such ridiculous rules, and I was no longer able to hold him in the burp position. Had we hit turbulence, I would have dropped him. He was up too high, and he was too heavy. So one of the airlines recommended that I buy this seatbelt, and it's called Care. And it wraps around the outside of the back of the seat that the child is in, and then you tighten it, and it has 2 chest straps that come down just like a regular car seat. They clip together in the middle, and at the bottom of those straps you feed the airplane seatbelt through the bottom of those straps. Each have a loop. And the thing is, I didn't have to ever buy an extra seat, and because I normally flew during the day, there was almost always an empty seat beside me, so I just buckled him in. The first time I went to use it, one of the stewardesses kind of gave me some dirty looks and told me I couldn't use it, and I said I was told by an airline to buy this. So this time when we went on KLM, I just whipped it out because Anneke is still pretty small, and I put it on, And nobody said anything, like as if every child had one of these on. But nobody said one thing about it. They said, oh, she buckled? Yep, okay, and walked away. Nothing at all. The only thing I was worried about is because KLM has those screens on the back of the seat. I was worried it was going to interfere with the guy's screen behind me or his tray table. But he put it on sort of, there's a small gap where the magazines were. I think he just covered his magazine area over, and he was fine. The one thing about them, when you have a leather seat, sometimes the kids will slide down. So I would bring one that was like non-slippy mats to put under the bums if you're on like a plane that has leather seats. This one didn't have leather seats, but it's not great for when they fall asleep either, because Anneke tend to slouch. I didn't have her lap belt completely skin tight around her body, but anyway, I had to fix her a few times to slide her back up because the chest clip was kind of getting close to her neck. But at one time I just undid the chest clip and kind of weaved her arms out around the shoulder part, and that was fine too while she's sleeping. It's really just takeoff, landing, anytime that the seatbelt light is on when there's turbulence, that's the best time to use these. And it really keeps them more secure than just the lap belt alone, because they're so tiny in those big seats. So we're on our way to Ikea, and the highway was closed. So we're on this very strange detour. We end up going down one road, trying to get back on the highway at a different place. And there's this gigantic thing in the road, something similar to this one actually.
Turn left.
Ooh. But it was higher, and it said, when we drove back, we realized it said bus lane.
Another one.
Oh my gosh, this one's closed too. We can't turn left here. I'd say go weave around the streets.
Right.
Oh yeah. And everything's so narrow. Is this a one-way street?
Yep, it is.
Okay, good, because we can't fit too many more people on it. With the cars parked both sides, the bicycles coming at us. Hey, aren't bicycles supposed to be driving the one way too?
Funny. Actually, it said it's a one-way street except for...
Oh, except for bicycles. Oh, okay, and mopeds.
Because, bicycles wouldn't adhere to that. Anyways, you might as well make an exemption that makes it legit.
Yeah. And there's these gigantic speed bumps everywhere to prevent you from actually going past 30.
Apart from the guy that...
Except for the guy that passed us.
Passes at 50.
I was surprised his car didn't take flight on that speed bump. It was very big. Ah.
See, I have the right of way, but not really.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy, the scaffolding right on the road. Okay. Talk about sort of like the cobblestone street. It's little pavers. Ugh. And snowplows don't really have much of a chance around here, right? This is why the streets are so narrow. You don't have to put snow anywhere. This is exactly why it's like this here. Oh yeah, see? The bicycle, the wagon, the kinder wagon.
Yeah. Gets in the bike.
Yeah.
3 in the front.
Yeah, 3 in the front. Kinder wagon. This one has his own bike. So we finally got to Ikea, and I just stepped out of the car, and I happened to look down at my feet, and I'm wearing my slippers. When we left the house today, I did not put my shoes on, and I just walked. Well, I should be fairly comfortable. I have my orthotics and my slippers. Oh my goodness. My sandals are just as flat as these. I didn't even notice the difference. Okay. Except when you walk in them, your feet slip out a little bit. Too funny. I never done that at home. But when I walk on the doorstep, I realize if I had them on or not. Yay, potty seat to the rescue. Oh yeah, I get a stool like this, that's good. That'll be just like home too. And they matchy match. Just in case. Yeah.
Even goes up. That's
Yeah, that tunnel is
pretty good.
interesting because we don't have something to support when we have the two. Oh! Chugga 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 chugga. I think it needs new batteries.
Okay.
You gonna push it? Give it a little help?
Yeah.
You feel bad for the train? Chugga chugga chugga. Oh, it lit up again. Whee! Chugga 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 chugga. We got the milkshakes. The strawberry, banana, chocolate, vanilla.
You can also get non-dairy ice cream, plant-based ice cream. I wasn't really brave enough to try it.
They also had veggie hot dogs. That seemed appalling to me. And we're leaving the Ikea. Bye bye Ikea. She asked if I had my family card with me. I told her I sadly left that in Canada. So, we got all the things we need to get at Ikea. We got light bulbs for Opa's house, a potty seat and a potty chair just in case for Anneke, and a step stool, and a dish drying rack because Pa doesn't have one with a little mat underneath it. Some clothespins because I wasn't sure, I didn't see any, and I have to hang more laundry. Plus, if we go somewhere, we might have a line, but also no pins. Who knows? Or might have a place I could kind of put them if I had pins. A pillow, because I was going to buy a new pillow at home, and I hadn't get around to getting to Ikea in Ottawa. Like I said, it was easier to get to Ikea in the Netherlands than it wasn't to the one in Ottawa. So I bought a pillow here. I'll use it here, and if it fits in my suitcase, I will take it home. And if not, then Pa can use it when I'm gone. And what else we got? Bowls for the kids, because Pa only had 3 bowls, and our kids take all their snacks in bowls, and they use about a zillion a day. And the apple turnovers, I guess they're called in English. And we got clips to keep bags shut, because the kids like, you know, bags of popcorn or chips or whatever, and they don't eat the whole thing at once, so we had no way to keep them closed except fold them over and use tape, which works great. I actually do this at work. I take bag salads for lunch at work, and when I usually eat half the bag one day and half the bag the next day, so I will roll over the bag and use a piece of tape. I used to use staples, but then I thought, you know, if I'm taking the staple out and it accidentally falls into the salad, that's probably gonna be bad. So I use tape at work.
But iron is good for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure how swallowing staples is good for your every part of your colon, intestine, esophagus. I'm not sure it works well with your digestive system. And what else did we get? I can't remember now.
You bought a stuffy.
Oh, I bought a stuffy for Anneke because she was sort of misbehaving yesterday by not going to the potty. We told her if she went to the potty, she would get a toy, and she didn't go. So she didn't get a toy, but the boys did. And now she's sick and throwing up, so I feel bad. So I'm gonna get her stuffy.
Guilt always.
Hey, it was only €4. I think we're good. I think it's on sale. And all the roads have changed, so my husband's memory of anything is just gone. You know, it's just been too long.
It's GPS all the way at this point.
Yeah, totally GPS. Well, that happened at home too, because going home, I had to go through Hagenaars, and they put the divided highway through Hagenaars. I don't know, it's been a few years now, but they put 2 roundabouts in, and to turn off on the road to go to my parents' house, you now need to go around these 2 roundabouts. And it didn't used to be like that. You just turned left off the highway because the highway had a traffic light in it, which I think the highway only had traffic lights somewhere in Quebec at a railway crossing, and in Hagenaars, Nova Scotia, all of the Trans-Canada. That's what somebody told me one time anyway. So they get rid of that. Now the highway bypasses all of Hagenaars. You actually have to take an off-ramp, take it off, and then once you're off on the off-ramp, then you can go on these roundabouts and turn to where my parents live. So over time, they do change the roads. It is possible. It's not just us getting Alzheimer's in our old age. So the memories I made today was I got to walk all over Ikea in my slippers. I've never done that before. That's a new one. Maybe I'm happy we weren't wearing your t-shirts today that advertised who we were. Because then people think we're totally crackpots. No.
Move over, people of Walmart.
Yeah, I never go to Walmart in my pajamas. Only Ikea in my slippers, you know. I draw the line somewhere.
Yeah. We have standards.
That's right, we have standards. I have to say the people of Walmart videos are kind of funny, actually. And it's funny because I wear my slippers at home all the time. My feet hurt if I wear bare feet. So I have my orthotics in my slippers. So my slippers are kind of like the most comfortable. The shoes I wear to work, I sit most of the time, so having the orthotics there is sort of moot. It doesn't make any difference. But since I stand and walk around so much at home, I put the orthotics in my slippers. So they're actually pretty comfortable. A little too comfortable, I guess. Walk right out the door with them. Well, the funny thing is, because in Pa's house, it's all the floor ceramic tile, so it's all a hard tile. You go outside, and it was like the pavers, and the car was like 10 steps from the door. And it wasn't until I got on the pavement in the parking lot at Ikea that I realized I was actually wearing my slippers. So that's pretty funny. I'll blame it on jet lag. What do you think? Is that a good one?
That's what I've been doing.
Okay, let's blame it on jet lag. Hey, we're off 6 hours. And it's so bright here. It just baffles me that this is 6 o'clock at night and it's, I don't know, it feels like noon or 2 o'clock. It's so bright out there. I mean, it's pretty bright here, and our nice little roof we have on our car. Woo! I love this glass roof. Is that cool? Mm-hmm. Except I can't imagine why you would ever drive with all the sun. Except it makes really good videos. Wow, the lighting here is amazing now. Mm-hmm. It's not too bad, but it's some cloud cover. But yeah, see, this is 6 o'clock at night, and there's some dark clouds over there, like it's gonna rain. But still, it's so bright here. And there we go, the fabric roof. I'm not sure how this works if you roll your car. Maybe it's a good escape route if it cracks open. You roll your car and then you can fall right at the roof. And then yesterday we took all the kids out and just went shopping on our own. And now we went shopping by ourselves and left Bob with all the kids.
Woo, vacation.
I hope
we
that's
were in
okay.
such a hurry to get out of the house. Someone didn't even change their shoes.
Yeah, that's
you can go somewhere without the kids.
Okay, go. Run! Don't let them notice. Take off. Especially one that was there throwing up.
Yeah. Hope she's feeling better.
I hope she was done by then because she'd already thrown up quite a few times. So.
But she didn't have a temperature, so that was okay.
Yeah, and Lawrence didn't have a temperature either, so I don't know what bug we caught. Maybe they got it on the plane. Maybe they got it from Lawrence picking stuff off the ground or something. So for our car rental options, one of the things we had looked at was through Citroën in France. Okay, what? Say it again.
Citroën.
Yeah, that word. It's in France. It's a French car company, and they have a deal where you lease a car, and it's a minimum 3 weeks, and I think a maximum 6 months, was it? And so it's a brand new car right off the lot with maybe no kilometers on it, and you lease it, and the price. See, we're actually here 25 days, so for 21 days to rent one or to use a lease. It was pretty much the same price. So if you're going to be here for any more than 3 weeks, it's actually cheaper to do that. And the only thing was we had waited so long because we weren't sure about the minivan thing that we didn't end up getting. We did inquire, and the only thing about that is all the insurance is already included. You can have it like it would have had the satellite navigation. It would have had a bunch of stuff included that we would have had to pay extra for, or should have paid extra for, because the GPS here was actually quite surprised because we didn't actually pay for that. So we would have had to pay, I don't know, that was like, I thought it was €10 a day for that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so with you when you get the...
I figured I'd buy one.
Yeah, exactly. But with the lease, it would have been included. So there's a whole bunch more included. And the insurance was complete, everything, no deductible. And that's with the car rental situation. We weren't sure that we saw the deductible at $2,500. And we heard horror stories of people being accused of, getting scratches or dings in the door and then being charged a huge lump of money afterwards. So, but you've confirmed we don't have a deductible on this, right?
No, I got the extra insurance.
Yeah, we get even extra
basically
insurance.
Because, it is longer than a couple of days, and when you're returning it, you don't have a ton of time, right?
Exactly.
So you can't just get into a big argument on what was there and what wasn't there, because you got a plane to catch.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't mind. I didn't mind spending the extra 150, 200, well, whatever that was. Basically because,
But there was another insurance company we could have went with to have whole separate insurance from the car rental as well. So you would have did.
Would have been a little bit less.
Yeah, it would have been a little less. But we would have done the rental with no insurance and just had a whole separate policy with another company. And that would have been a little less with no deductible also.
After 300
but then you have more paperwork if something does happen.
Yeah, so
sometimes it's just convenience you gotta pay for.
Yeah. So if we would have did the lease, we would have, just dropped it off and we would have had a brand new car to drive away. What the advantage is to them is that now the car is, technically used because it's, oh my gosh, we're over here.
Yeah.
It seems so much faster coming back.
Oh, it was significantly faster.
So it's already used, so they can sell the car and not charge tax. Now, if the Canadian government could figure that one out, with no HST on a used car, that'd be great. And so it's to their advantage to have people do these leases, these short-term lease, so that, then they could sell a car to some, French citizen and say, hey, it's discounted because you don't got to pay the tax. So, yeah, we could have done that, and I would recommend that for anyone here more than 3 weeks.
And you know what? It makes people buy new cars, which is jobs, which politicians always say that they care about.
Yeah.